All right, so so what is the what is the hairs of the head? It says Atik Yomim Yosef. He sits an ancient one of days, and the heads of his head, the hairs of his head, are like white snow. What does it mean? Atik Yomim, the ancient one of days, means this is what's called removed from the days. This is an aspect of God which is the source of life, which is in the world. So Daniel saw this amazing revelation of the highest levels of godliness, atik yomin, tremendous high level of godliness. And in order to draw this level of godliness into the world is only by means of a very contracted level, which this is something like hairs. Therefore, it says the hairs of his head are like wool. It's something like hairs that come from the brain. So according to Judaism, hairs are really consciousness. And it's a very contracted amount of consciousness that comes, that's why it's on the head. And it comes through the skull in a very, very contracted way to the point where you don't even feel anything. So he said that is the best example of godliness coming into the world. In other words, the godliness that comes into the world is something like hairs which come from your brain. Absolutely nothing like your brain, but they come from it. And so it's a tremendously contracted aspect of what God is. It's like hairs. So it's coming to tell us how infinitely real God is compared to the world. The world is just like a hairs of God, so to speak, and that's the source of the world, and God himself is above that. Right. Now let us go. I wanted to skip this, so let's go to the next page. Here we go. It's pretty long, but so I wanted to skip this. Let's just start this off, and then because I have to leave early today. That's the first group of angels that they say holy.
What time do you have to leave?
You'll see. This is the level of the seraphim. These are the angels which are called the burning up angels. Like it says somewhere, that they are the highest angels. They're in the world of Bria. They're closer to God. So therefore, God is not, so to speak, as removed from them. And therefore, they say one time holy. And the angels, which are a little bit lower level, they're going to say two times holy. And this we're going to explain, God willing, tomorrow. So what we've learned today is that God is infinitely more real than we are. And God is infinitely more real than the angels are. And that not only is he infinitely more real, he's 3 times, 4 times infinitely more real than we are. So don't think that the upper worlds of the angels, that's God, even though that they're more real than these worlds are. That's where idolatry starts coming in. You worship a creation of God. You say, okay, so you might think, okay, so I got it. So the upper worlds are not God. So God is above the upper worlds. Says, no, that's also not so. Above the upper worlds, that's just another level of God. So, okay, so then God is above this world and is above the world above that. So God is like 3 times above. That's God, right? Says, no, that's just godliness. That's there so you can start to appreciate how real, infinitely real that God is. Now, you have to remember again, this God is creating us. Our existence that we thought was so real is real. It's just not as real as God's reality. And when you say God's reality, it doesn't mean that God is divested of any qualities. God has all of the qualities of this world: love, kindness, care, mercy. Right? Every detail of this world is being created by God personally, but he does it through all these tools, if you want to call it. So everything is, God is interested in everything, but it's just not coming to tell us how far away God is so that we'll lose interest in him. Exactly the opposite. It's coming to tell us how infinitely real God is so that we'll increase our interest and our appreciation of how amazing it is that we're being created and that we're being created for a purpose, and how miraculous every instant of the world is. This world is infinitely, infinitely, infinitely important to God. God cares about this world, infinitely cares about it. Every detail, every person. It's called hashgacha pratit. God cares about every detail. As we'll talk about more, God willing, tomorrow. Now let's do the Devar Malchut. I have to leave in about another 20 minutes, so let's go. And the other two, the story and whatever, I'll put it up